Sentinels, welcome back. New year, a new beginning. At least that's what they say, right? But you ever wonder why it's so hard for our dreams to come true? Why is it so hard for us to reach our goals? Why is it so hard for us to take the visions that we have inside of our mind and bring them to fruition? Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about 3 ways or 3 things that I've implemented into my life that helps me to reach my goals. Y'all ready to dive into it? Let's begin. So first thing first for me, what I do, I know everybody does the same thing at the beginning of the year or December of the prior year. We write down all these goals or we talk about how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that, how we're going to lose weight, how we're going to become an entrepreneur, all this and that, right? Come to find out that, yeah, we may actually have those intentions, but throughout the course of January, we may try to do or move forward to some of those goals that we talked about previously, but we all know what happens, right? By the time we get to the end of January, we pretty much threw in the towel. Those dreams are over with. If you were going to the gym, you're no longer going to the gym. If you were starting your entrepreneurship or starting along the path to become an entrepreneur, you're no longer continuing down that path. Why do we give up, right? So for me, here's what I do. And I do it throughout the course of the year. So I'm not one of those people that's big on just making New Year's resolution. I get that. That's what we're trained to do. That's what society says to do. I mean, it's like the end thing to do. We're following the trend, right? But that's not me. I actually make goals throughout the course of the year. So for me, the first thing that I do, when I envision a goal, it's the word right there. I envision it. I have to see myself becoming that person. So, for example, for me, I like to do monetary goals throughout the course of the year, as well as goals that hit different benchmarks throughout the course of the year. So, what I do is I envision myself actually getting to that point. So, say for example, if I have a goal I want to be healthy, right? I have a goal set in mind, and I base it off of a 90-day timeline. This helps for me. You can pitch it up like you're gonna do something for the whole year, but some people in all actuality, that's just really impossible. If you have the discipline, which most of us don't, because we haven't trained ourselves to be disciplined, then you're not going to be able to do it. I'm just going to be frank with you, right? But I think if we set a smaller timeline, like 90 days, that's more obtainable. You can reach that. And even if you can't go out that far, you can break it down to all the way down to a week, right? So what am I doing this week? What am I doing in 2 weeks? What am I doing in a month? What am I doing in 2 months? What am I doing in 3 months? I like to do 90 days. So first thing first for me, the vision. All right, I want to lose weight. I have to see myself, how do I want to look once I lose all this weight or gain weight or gain muscle or become more fit? How does that look like for me? Down to the T. Do you have a six pack? Are your biceps huge? What are you doing? Are you squatting a lot? Are you paying attention to your legs? Are you getting your legs bigger? How do you want to look? And what I do is once I have that vision in my mind, I write it down. So I describe it to the T. So first thing first for me, I have the vision. I have to see it. A lot of us think that in order for me to believe it, I need to see it. But that's not the case. You actually have to believe it first, and then you can see it. So what I do is I write it down. I write down exactly, how I want to be. So if we're using the same example in terms of just getting fit or losing weight, you write down exactly how you want to look. So I write it down. I want to be this weight. I want to have this look. And you can even do a comparison. Maybe you like the body build of this individual. Maybe you like the way that this person's arms are. Maybe you like the way that this person is physically fit, right? You have to have a vision, right? It gives yourself an opportunity to see someone the state that you want to be in. So I write it down to the T. And then what I do with that is every day I meditate on that for at least 10 minutes. I know it sounds weird, and I get it, because a lot of us, we just don't have the discipline just to sit down. I talk about meditation a lot in my previous videos. And the reason that I talk about meditation is because it helps you all. It gives you the opportunity to slow down. We move so fast in our life, it's ridiculous. A lot of us don't even have time to take care of ourselves. You're constantly doing the same thing over and over. That's getting up out of the bed. You got to do your normal routine. You got to go to work for those hours. If you have kids, you have to come home, get the kids together, make sure you feed them, right? And then what do you do after that? Spend time with your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend, or entertain, or whatever that looks like for you. And then what? After that, you're probably tired. You may get to watch a show or two. and then you go to bed and you wake up and you do the same cycle over and over again. So throughout that whole process, when did you take time for yourself? Maybe on the way to work, right? Maybe that little 15-minute drive, that 20-minute drive. You may have time to take care of yourself in that point, but you're really not taking the time to actually just sit down and do self-care. Like, I think a part of achieving goals is realizing that you have to love yourself. Like, you really have to. Like, you have to believe in yourself so much that you rather like die before you not reach your goal. I know it sounds intense, but I'm telling you all, in order to reach these goals that we have for ourselves, we have to be intentional about it. Like, we have to get to the point to where it's like, I'm doing this until it happens. I'm doing this until it happens. Like, I only explain this to you all because I did it before. Like, I took myself from like, just say, just so you can see the picture, just say from 0 to something. And that's not in terms of like I was a nothing, a nobody, and now I'm a somebody. But just building something out of nothing. That can be like taking an idea, a concept that I had last year was I wanted to write a book. I took that idea, which is that zero state, right? I don't have any words. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what the book is going to be about. But I took that idea from inside of my mind, seeing the cover, everything of how I want it to look like down to the T, to me actually producing the book. So that's what I mean by like going from 0 to getting to the point to where the book is actually here, it's in fruition, and you can pick up the book on Amazon, right? But some of us, we get so like, I don't know, it's just to the point to where I think we stop believing, like I think we give up on ourselves too easy. I think we always are living in this like microwave society where we want everything quick and right away. One of the things about me as it relates to goals, like I fall in love with time. Like, don't try to force time. Don't try to beat time because time is going to always win. Once you fall in love with time, and what I mean by that is like, just understand that just take it one day at a time. Like, frolic in the moment. Realize that you only have this breath, right? And so this moment that I'm in right now, talking to you via this camera, this is all I have. Yes, I prepare for the future, but I also find comfort in the state that I'm in the present moment that I am right now. Like, a lot of us are so in a rush. We're constantly on the go. We can't sit down. We don't read books. We don't like pour into ourselves. We're just on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. And I used to be that way. So I'm not even mad at those individuals that do it because I actually understand. But I had to sit back and just relax and just ask myself, like, is that really living, or is life living me? I would like for you all to ask yourself that question as well. Are you really living, or is life living you? I think this year, 2024, this is going to be a grand year for everybody. I think this is the year of like entrepreneurship. I think everybody is ready to just like, they're on the verge. They're ready to just get to that point to where they are in control of their life. Their job is not in control of their life. They're not working to build someone else's dream. They're not getting up to go to a job that doesn't appreciate them. Also realizing that they are expendable, right? Or interchangeable, right? So you can easily be replaced at your job. I think we're at the point in 2024, or I would say as a conscious as a whole, that we all want better, but we all are scared. And trust me, I get it. But I think this year, if you're paying attention, like really paying attention to what's going on in life, you're going to get that opportunity that you want. And I promise you that. And sometimes it comes like, it may come weird. You may actually lose your job, right? And you may look upon it as like, oh man, what am I going to do? And you may begin to panic, not even realizing that it was a blessing in disguise. Not even realizing that this is the prime opportunity for you to take those thoughts that's inside of your head, take that vision that you've been contemplating on and pondering on for such a long time, and actually put it into play, right? I mean, it's deeper than what we think about, you all. I think now is the time. Because I always think about it like this, and I shot a video about this before. I never wanted to be the guy that works for, just say, on a company for 40 and 50 years, only to retire at 60, 65. I don't even know what it is right now. Only to retire to what? We're waiting on a pension, which is like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60% of our normal check that we get. And now we're on a fixed income. You can't travel. You may have about 5 to 7, maybe 10 years left of living, but you spent the majority of your life building somebody else's dream. Yes, I get it. These jobs, they help to pay the bills. They help to put our kids to school, possibly. They help us to get this American dream, buy a house. They help us to get the cars that we want. I understand it. But me, this is just me, in my opinion. I never want to get involved in something that it has control over me. So at any given point in time, this job can just say, yo, you're done. I'm done with you. And then everything that you felt like you obtained, or those accomplishments that you felt like you gained over the years, they can all be taken away. So now you don't have the money to pay the car note, the mortgage, or send the kids to school, or pay the rent, or whatever the case may be. And now you're just out there stuck in this panic state. And how many know once we're in that panic state, that's when the stress, that's when the anxiety comes in. That's when we become to get sickly, right? I just never wanted to live like that. Like, it just never made sense to me. So I think this year is going to be a huge year for everybody. But in terms of goals, just listen, you have to be it first. So those of you who want to be this entrepreneur, start walking and talking like an entrepreneur. Those who want to be a millionaire, start walking and talking like a millionaire. Those who want to be a billionaire, start walking and talking like a billionaire. You have to be it first. Don't get to the point to where if I see it, then I'll believe it. You have to believe it, and then you'll be able to see it, right? So that's just one of the ways right there. The number two thing is you got to face your fears, man. Like, you got to face your fears. Like, it's going to be hard. And I heard something the other day. They said you can't say that you have faith in God when you have a 9 to 5. Now, listen, it just touched me some type of way. Now, some of you, I know you're going to like give me pushback on that. Like, yo, what are you talking about? We need a 9 to 5. I get it. You may need a 9 to 5, but not everybody has that type of thought process, right? So when he said that you can't have faith in God and still have a 9 to 5, I was like, wow. Because I understand it, though. So as I break it down to you, it hit me like this. When you have a 9 to 5, you always have a safety net. You always have something to fall back on. So you always have that level of comfortability. So is that really faith in God? To me, it's not, because I know for myself, like having a 9 to 5, I calculate my bills based off, my income. Okay, I'm going to pay this then when I get paid. I'm going to pay this then when I get paid. Oh, I don't have to take care of that on this check. I can take care of that on the next check. But when you don't have a 9 to 5, you don't have that safety net, something to fall back onto, when you know that those checks are constantly coming in bi-weekly or weekly or whatever the case may be, or monthly, some of us get paid monthly, you have to really be totally dependent on God. Like, you honestly, you have to, because you don't know where the means are coming from. So you can't take it upon yourself to put it off to the next check. No, I have to do it right now. Excuse me. I have to do it right now. I have to do what I need to do right now. As an entrepreneur, part of your process may be making cold calls. I have to make those calls now. Otherwise, there's no money coming in. I have to go knock on those doors. I have to go meet those people at those places. I have to sit down and have these meetings. It becomes a sense of urgency when you don't have that like fallback plan or that safety net. So I get what he's saying. So you have to face your fears. And some of us, we will always have those safety nets because we can't fathom the thought of trying to do this on our own. But just know that you're not doing it on your own. You have to have faith. Like, I'm serious. Like, we can go down this whole rabbit hole of talking about different verses in the Bible. I'm not sure religion that you are involved in. I don't self-proclaim to be a part of any religion. I just know that there's something higher and bigger and better than me out there. I know that there's something that created me and created us and created everything that you see around here. So I'm not saying that you have to believe in, whatever religion. I'm not saying that. But you got to understand that there's something bigger than you out there. And whatever that is that could create all this abundance and this non-lack, it has to be the same type of entity that's able to help me during those times when I'm struggling as an entrepreneur. It has to be. Like, that's where the faith comes in. And so we have to begin to face our fears. So number one, have the vision. See yourself already being there, right? Write it down. Be specific about it. Exactly what does it look like? Number two, face your fears. Stop running, right? I get it. You may have to have this safety net for quite some time or a little while longer until you build up enough reserve income to where you can figure that you can just go and jump off the porch and start your entrepreneurship. I totally understand that. But remember, faith. Remember, faith. It's not really having faith if you have a 9 to 5 because you know those checks are guaranteed to come in. That's just my standpoint. I get it. You do it how you want to. Last thing, just make sure that you have a mission statement for your life. Like, a lot of us are out here tripping with no map. So what I mean by that is, like, we know that we're headed where we want to end up. We know where we want to end up at, but we have no map of how to get there. That's like you driving to just say, I don't know, Colorado. Like you know that it's west, but what are the exact what route do you need to take? What highways or freeways do you need to take? What turns do you need to make? Like you can really write this all these things down. Like say for example for me, I know I want to just let's go back to the book analogy. I knew I wanted to make a book about my life. I knew I grew up without a father. I knew that was something that pressing upon my heart. I wanted to get that off my chest. So I wrote down all the things that I wanted to put in the book. So this is me mapping out a plan. This is me knowing that I have a destination, which is to write the book, but this is me putting in the highways. This is me putting in the turns. This is me putting in where am I going to rest at? Where am I going to gas up at? Right? I just did an elaborate detail. So I just wrote out exactly what did I want to express in that book. What emotion did I want to draw up from people as they read that book? Okay? And so you got to have a mission statement. You got to have a plan for your life. Otherwise, you're just letting life live you. And I'm being sincere about that. Like now that I know what I know, and I'm not confessing to know anything, because I absolutely can confess that I know nothing. But what I see is this: like it hurts my heart when I see people having to do the same thing over and over in terms of like living, right? Getting up, going to work every day. I get it; it's an honorable thing, right? I understand it. Like I did that before, like I do it right now. I get it. But it hurts my heart to see people do the same thing over and over when I know that in their heart they want to do something else. It's all about finding like what you love to do. Because when you find out what you love to do, you'll do it for absolutely free. Like you will do it for free, and that's true. It's not just a cliche saying that people say or like these millionaires say. Like I used to look at the YouTube videos, excuse me, and you'll get a millionaire, a billionaire on there, just and he'll just be so like calm with it. You just have to find something that you love to do, like you just do, and then you'll understand that you'll do it for free. And I just be like, dude, what are you talking about? Nobody's doing anything for free. But here's the thing about it. Once you find out what your like life purpose is, quote unquote, or what you love to do, because some of you have some great talents. Actually, I will go as far as saying everyone has great talents. You just have to find it within yourself. But once you find it, what it is that you love to do, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's reading, maybe it's arguing. Some people use that as a negative. You may be a great debater and don't even know it. But once you figure out what it is that you love to do, you definitely will do it for free. But guess what? You don't have to. The funds are going to quite naturally come. Like just look at YouTube for example. Just look at the things that's on YouTube. You got children just on there just playing games, right? Get 1 million views. You got a guy that's just looking at a rock. I watched a video where a guy's just looking at a rock. It was like literally, I watched 30 seconds of it. It was like literally watching paint dry on the wall, right? 1 million, like 0.2 views. What I'm saying is this: we all have talent. We all have talent. We all have those things that we love to do. I think the only roadblock or barrier that's holding some of us back from actually just like moving forward with that talent is we don't believe that it can produce an income. But I'm telling you right now, it definitely will produce the income. You'll be surprised once you actually just start moving forward. The circumstances, the people, the events, everything is gonna like come into play. Like you don't have to worry about it. And I mean, that's a different topic within itself, the worrying aspect of it. Some of us just worry too much, and you're not gaining anything by worrying outside of getting a body that becomes diseased. I'm just telling you. Like we have to stop the worrying, but I'll go into that in a later video. But I can go down this this topic for so long because I honestly feel like this is the year for everybody to just make that change that they want to make. And I'm happy for those individuals who already like begin to pursue it, who's doing it on the side, right? And you're starting to see like what it takes to become an entrepreneur, the time, the work that you have to put in. I figure if you can put in 8 hours and 10 hours and 12 hours for someone else's company or someone else's dream, you can definitely do that for yourself, right? I know I can. All right. So follow your dreams, follow your visions, write them down, see yourself all the way already being there. Be that person in the flesh at the current moment. It's the cliche saying, fake it till you make it. This actually works, I'm telling you. Call yourself who it is that you want to be. I am fit. I am happy. I am abundant. I am emotionally intelligent. I am fearless, right? Start saying those things, facing our fears. And last but not least, have that roadmap to how you're going to get there, that mission statement. All right? So until next time, fellow Sentinels, fathers, continue to do what we do best, and that is being great fathers. Peace.